just want to explain about headaches. So a lot of people think like, oh, you know, my head is hurting, there must be pain receptors on the brain. There's actually no pain receptors on the brain. And pain receptors, it's called nociceptive receptors. And what that just means is a receptor is just a site that a neurotransmitter or a chemical can bind to. And when we fire our neurons in our brain, they have to bind, and then we have this whole electrochemical reaction that allows our neurons to communicate to each other. But going back to head pain, so what does have nociceptive receptors are our blood vessels and capillaries. So when a blood vessel gets larger, it's called dilation, and when it gets smaller, it's called constriction. So the change in the diameter of a blood vessel is what allows us to control how much blood is getting to one side versus the other. However, if you get this spasm, it becomes very serious, right? So we have to have a mechanism that alarms us to say this is a problem, because we have to get blood to the brain to survive. So it's like a survival mechanism. So when that blood vessel gets smaller or larger, we call, and it does it abruptly, we call that vasospasm, and that is when the nociceptive fibers are triggered. And so most of headache pain is relayed through a system that we call our trigeminal pain system. Trigeminal is one of our cranial nerves that supplies sensory integration, things like that, to the face. But we don't actually, that's a hard thing for people to kind of wrap their head around. So there's not, everything in the gray matter and things like that of the brain, we're not experiencing pain on that level, but the areas like the outer areas of the brain that is supplied by blood vessels, when those go into spasm, we get headache pain. So another way to help treat headache pain is we want to increase cerebral perfusion, which is blood flow, right? And we want to be able to activate or just create less inflammation within our capillaries, within the blood vessels, and also increase blood flow to the brain itself. And when you do that, you calm down that vasospasm of the blood vessels, and it really helps headache pain. So